Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. And right off the bat on today's show, Tesla is in the news. Remember that whole battery swapping station they had out in California? It was going to be a test pilot for a deal that was going to be done worldwide. Well, apparently that deal is going away immediately. The whole swapping deal where you could actually swap out a battery in less time it took to refuel an internal combustion engine vehicle. Apparently, it was never super popular. You actually had to make a reservation to get the battery swapped, and there's a lot of reports that the thing was never, ever used in over a year's time of it sitting out there, even though they have an EV charging stations outside, which were used quite heavily. So the battery swapping station will cease to exist immediately. Another thing is going away is free charging for all Tesla owners. Now, we've talked about this with the Model 3 as the Model 3, as soon as those folks get those vehicles, will not be able to use any charging station, a Tesla charging station, free of charge. Well, apparently that's going to be company-wide for all Tesla machines moving past the year 2016. Now, you will get credits that you can actually charge your vehicle for free for a certain amount of time, but after that time expires, or after those credits expire, you will be charged. Now, Tesla has yet to announce just what exactly it's going to cost to charge this, as electricity's pricing does fluctuate. So much will the fluctuation of pricing, just like petroleum gasoline. Another deal that's going on inside of Tesla, it's going to be a lot easier to buy yourself a Model X and a Model S, or at least it's going to be easier to make that decision of which variant you want, because the P90D option inside of those machines, or inside of that being a certain variant of those Model X or Model S, will be discontinued immediately, so you'll no longer be able to get that option inside those machines. Sticking with the whole electrification theme, but moving over to Toyota, Toyota's never built a full-on EV machines. Now, they are the world leader as far as comes to hybrids, and maybe even you can make the argument for plug-in hybrids, but they've never built a full-on EV. Well, that is going to change coming up in the year of 2020. By 2020, Toyota will have an EV for sale all over the planet. Now, we may get a sneak peek at these. One of the auto shows coming up very soon. Maybe a concept machine may show off of this. That may be why this announcement was made in such distance of the time it actually may happen. So, I cannot wait to see what Toyota may have up their sleeve as far as what they may think an EV should look like. Sticking with that electrification theme for one more story, but with a company that you wouldn't think of electrification. Even though the Ferrari does have a hybrid system inside of it, and don't freak out, there's not going to be a full-blown EV Ferrari in Ferrari's future. Sergio Marchionne, the head of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and the head of Ferrari itself, has actually come out and said there will be no way that an EV will be in Ferrari's future, because the DNA of Ferrari is still that gorgeous Ferrari internal combustion engine soundtrack as a part of the whole Ferrari experience. But coming up in the year of 2019, every Ferrari up and down their lineup will have some sort of hybrid or KERS electrification that will be going on in this machine. So obviously we're going to have a whole lot more news about Ferraris coming very soon. Next up on the list, we talked about this machine in shows past. I think it was about a year ago. The Apollo folks wanted to bring up a successor to the Gumpert Apollo. This is the Apollo Aero. Very beautiful concept machine. Well, they had been working with the since revived Gumpert folks about building this particular machine, but according to the folks over at GT Spirit, those ties have been severed, and Apollo's going to be working with a new manufacturer, that being Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus. We talked about the brand new Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus machine in shows past, and apparently that particular machine is going to be the underpinnings of the brand new Apollo Aero. So we'll have a whole lot more news, because I cannot wait to see a production version of this thing. I really think this car looks fantastic. Last up on the list, and probably one of the weirdest stories, and it actually happened dang near in the backyard of the old Motor Cars Enthusiasts HQ, not too very far down the road, happened in St. Peters, Missouri. a handful of teens, in fact, 3 teenagers, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 19-year-old, left their homes in Kansas City, Missouri, trucked clean across the state of Missouri to St. Peters, Missouri, to Napleton Mid-Rivers Dodge. Now, they arrived at the dealership at 1:30 in the morning on November 4th, and actually stole 3 machines, a machine for each one of them being a Charger 392 edition, and a pair of Hellcats, 1 Challenger and 1 Charger. Now, the 392 edition makes 485 horsepower, and of course the 2 Hellcats make over 700 horsepower. Well, this is where the whole Grand Theft Auto thing went awry, because the 3 teenagers were no match for the high-powered machines that they had underneath them. All 3 of them crashed all 3 of the cars less than a mile after they left the dealership. There was the excuse that they didn't know the area and that's why they were crashed. There was the deal, too, that one of the employees for the dealership actually passed the dealership that early in the morning, saw a lot of lights on in there, and actually called the police. So they may have been frightened by the police coming after them. But still further proof that high-powered machines aren't Superman. They don't make you Superman. They still abide to the laws of physics. And obviously, these 3 teenagers couldn't handle the powers that were inside of those 3 machines. Sadly, 2 of those machines are totaled, so it's pretty much a write-off for that particular dealership. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.